Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is finally time to talk about the new Petra Viola from Lattafa. So I've had enough time to play with this scent. Let's just get into it. So this is the second fragrance with the Petra name. The first one is supposed to be inspired by, I believe it's Quattro Piazzi, something like that. That fragrance, the original Petra, very controversial, very polarizing. Not everybody loved the DNA. I hated it at first. Then I grew to appreciate it, but I honestly still don't really ever wear it too much. I just have way more fragrances in my collection that are like easier likes. But I'm very, very happy that Petra Viola has absolutely nothing to do with the original Petra DNA. This is kind of like how when the original Angham was released, it was inspired by Burberry Goddess, and then the second Angham second song, that one was inspired by Dolce & Gabbana's My Devotion. It's like that. I don't know why they choose to put fragrances that are completely different under the same fragrance line name, but I'm sure there's a method to their madness, and whatever, people are gonna buy it. So this apparently is loosely inspired by Mojave Ghost Absolute. Now, I only own Mojave Ghost, the original, but I've also smelled Mojave Ghost Absolute in stores, and I feel like it's honestly just a stronger version of the original with better staying power. But I am saying if you are looking for a fragrance that is a one-to-one dupe of Mojave Ghost, it's not gonna be Petra Viola. When I smelled Petra Viola and I compared it to Mojave Ghost on skin, I could find some of the similarities in some of like the way that the pretty fresh fruity florals are done in the fragrance. But if I had just smelled Petra Viola, I would not have thought, oh my God, this smells exactly like Mojave Ghost that I have at home. No, it's not that close. So let's talk about the actual scent as its own scent, because I really think that that's how it should be judged. This is a beautiful scent, guys. A very, very beautiful, feminine, pretty, fresh, elegant girl fragrance. What I love about this fragrance is cotton candy. When you initially spray it, I feel like you are hit with this juicy, fresh cotton candy. That's the most prominent note that I pick up along with the fruity notes in this fragrance. As it continues to develop, as it continues to dry down, you get more of the florals, you get some of the musk, but overall, I would describe this as a pretty, fresh, floral fragrance that has cotton candy intermingled in all of that. And I really, 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 really enjoy the way that they have chosen to do cotton candy in this scent. I don't have a lot of what I would describe as like good cotton candy fragrances. And it's because I feel like a lot of the cotton candy fragrances that I come across tend to be very, very sweet, like sickeningly sticky sweet, and a little bit juvenile for my liking. So I don't usually flock to our standard cotton candy fragrance that may be on the market. But this does not do that. This does a very good job of giving you cotton candy in a sweet spun, like freshly made cotton candy way, but it's very juicy. It's not overly sweet. It's not overly juvenile whatsoever. And even though there's cotton candy in this fragrance, the overall fragrance still to me comes off very elegant, very pretty, very likable. You get a little bit of that Mojave Ghost tone in there, but I think the reason why it doesn't really give me too much of like classic Mojave Ghost is because it's missing the sapodilla note. In Mojave Ghost, it opens up with a sapodilla note. Sapodilla is a very exotic fruit. I believe it's a Jamaican fruit, and it kind of smells like a vanillic or like caramel creamy fruity type of component. So it's sweet and fruity, but it's still like smooth and creamy. And I think that is what is so striking about Mojave Ghost is that sapodilla note, because there aren't a lot of fragrances on the market that contain that note. So this doesn't have that. And so because this doesn't have that, I don't really get the same, you know, strong feeling of, oh wow, that you get from Mojave Ghost. Again, that's not saying that this is a bad fragrance. It's not bad at all. But again, that's why I don't think it smells as close to Mojave Ghost as maybe I've heard some people describe it as. I think the similarities are more in the way that they do the fruits and the florals, but not the sapodilla. So anyways, in terms of projection and longevity, I would say that the projection on this fragrance is moderate. It is not an incredibly strong in your face type of fragrance. I don't know if it can be because of the type of scent that it is, with it being so like pretty, fresh, airy, light florals that are very like mass appealing and likable. I think if they were to have tried to have made those beast mode, it would have completely changed the fragrance and it would not have been what it is. Ghost. It would not have been Petra Viola, and it definitely would not have been close to Mojave Ghost, because Mojave Ghost, even the Absolute, are still softer type of fragrances. That's just the kind of scent that they are. Longevity on skin, I would say, is acceptable. 6.5 to 7 hours on my skin, which I think, again, for the type of fragrance is pretty good. The bottle design is stunning to me. I think that this is so pretty. I absolutely love it. And for that reason alone, the bottle design, I'm actually okay with the fact that they put this in the Petra family. You get this, I don't even know what you would call it, this like raised floral engravings on the actual bottle that make it very distinctive and different from the original Petra, but you also get the florals on top of the cap as well as on the bottom and on the inside of the bottom of the perfume. So you see that like purple, pink, white design throughout the entire fragrance. It's a stunning bottle. You know that Lattafa does not mess around with their bottle design, and this is definitely one of those. So overall, I would recommend this. I think it's a really nice release. I think it's probably the best fruity floral release that they have come out with since Second Song. I don't think that Lattafa, if I'm being honest, has given me as many hits as they gave me last year thus far. I think the last fragrance that I was really wowed by was Mahir Honor, and then prior to that, it was Second Song. Everything else that they've released in between, the Waha, the Sugar Crown, all of that have been like, okay, but they've been kind of mid. This is one that I think is really, really lovely, that I really think people are going to enjoy if you enjoy a fresh, pretty, floral fragrance with cotton candy that is not overly sweet, and if you're okay with the fact that this is not going to at all be a one-to-one dupe of Mojave Ghost. So let me know, guys, if this is one that you'll be trying out. What were your thoughts on the original Petra? Are you happy that it doesn't really smell anything like it, or are you sad about that? And I will see you guys back tomorrow for our next episode.